Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch the entire Showtime card, so I'm gonna have to watch it probably tomorrow when I get back home to South Florida. And I'll probably have a video about, like, you know, Alberto Puello and Hector Luis Garcia and the main event later on in the week. So stay tuned for that. But the only fight that I really had a chance to watch from start to finish on the card was Brandun Lee versus Will Madera. And first and foremost, it was a very good fight. Brandun Lee is a guy that's climbing up the rankings. He's trying to really make some noise in the 140-pound division. Brandun Lee's very explosive, defensively sound at times. Has a lot of things to like about him, but last night I think it was a very, very good learning experience for him against Will Madera. Now, Will Madera, he's a fighter that, you know, honestly, I can't remember the other fights I've seen him in, but the one that always sticks out is the one that he got destroyed in, which was against Felix Verdejo in 1 round. But I know I've seen him fight other people. So in the comments, let me know who the other opponents that Will Madera fought that I might have seen him fight against, because I've seen him fight before against other guys, but I can only remember the Verdejo fight. But I knew Madera was good enough. I knew he was good enough to test Brandun Lee. I knew he was good enough to take it to some deep, dark, uncomfortable places coming into the fight. That's why it was a fight that really I circled on the Showtime card. And Brandun Lee in the 3rd round damn near took his first L in the pro ranks. Will Madera hit his ass clean with the cleanest straight right hand counter you're probably going to see. And Brandun Lee was very fortunate that it happened towards the end of the round and not in the middle or the beginning of the round. Otherwise, we'd be talking about Brandun Lee getting severely exposed with the first loss of his career. But we saved by the bell. He was able to bide his time, tying him up and get his legs back under him. And he ultimately wound up winning a decision over Will Madera. But the thing about Brandun Lee is, like, anybody who's in the know, involved in boxing, they know Brandun Lee's talented. They know, you know, with the right development, he might be able to win a world title. But they know that there are some distinct vulnerabilities there with him. And certain fighters that he probably could have fought on the way up, there's certain types of fighters he's not fighting. And for good reason, because they know that Brandun Lee, when you get him to trade with you, which Madera did, his defense isn't what it is when he's on the move. He's a much better defensive fighter when he's on the move than when he's in the pocket trading with you. So lateral defense where he's moving, really good. Defense in the pocket needs a lot of work, honestly. The reason I'm making this video is, like, what is Brandun Lee's ceiling? Because, you know, 140 is a stacked weight class that is going to get even more stacked as time goes on. You know, you got, as far as on the PBC side, you got a guy like Sabril Matias, you got Gary Anton Russell, you got, you know, in the division in general, you got guys like Regis Prograis, you got Jose Zepeda, you got the guys at 135 that maybe moving up sooner rather than later. You know, you got Teofimo Lopez, who just moved up. You got Devin Haney, who may move up in the next year or so. There's a lot of people that are going to start moving up to 140. There's already a lot of talent at 140. So Brandun Lee, I think at this moment in time, I can justify him as a solid guy at 140. He is a solid top 15, top 20-ish guy at 140 with the talent, the skills, and the attributes to maybe win a world title. But he needs a lot of work. And it's crazy saying that because, you know, he's good, but him and Jerron Ennis are good friends, and I think they might even have the same manager in Cameron Duncan, but don't quote me on that. And their careers are kind of similar in a way. And people may say, BT, how the hell are you going to say that? Like, Jerron Ennis is way better than Brandun Lee. How dare you put Brandun Lee in the same sentence as the great Jerron Ennis? But it's the truth. Neither one of them has really, like, taken that big fight yet. They haven't gotten that big breakout fight yet. But they're both clearly talented. They're both clearly explosive. They're both clearly guys that, you know, you can look at them as world championship material. But they both are guys that have fought 25-plus fights or more. And you're still kind of saying, like, yo, these guys still need work. So my thing is, you can't really keep saying that when a guy has 25, 26, 27, you know, 28, like all these fights. At some point, they're going to need to take that plunge. Like the way them people in the boats are going to take the plunge later on and go sailing, you know, they got to take the plunge. They got to take the plunge in this water in Marina Del Rey. You know, they do. And Ennis and Brandun Lee, at some point in time, they got to take the plunge too. And I think Ennis has been more than willing to take that plunge into the top guys in the division. His issue isn't willingness. His issue is more so like politics of the division. Brandun Lee, I just think is like, he's good, but I think Cameron Duncan is moving him very, 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 very strategically, because I'll give you an example. One guy that called out Brandun Lee that I think might knock him the fuck out if they ever fought is Abram Martinez, a guy who's taken some tough fights at 140, a guy that, you know, took his first pro loss earlier this year against Orestes Velasquez in Miami when I was at the card. But this is a guy that can punch, and he has a reputation for punching. And the same shot that Madera hit him with last night, that little overhand right, that counter, that's something Abraham loves to do. And Abraham is a ridiculously hard puncher at 140. And he's been calling him out. And that's a fight that I've always said. You know, go back and check my video archives. I believe that's a dangerous fight for Brandun Lee, because Abram Martinez, a really, really, really hard puncher. You know, really hard puncher. Harder than Will Madera. Much harder than Will Madera. And Brandun Lee would have found that out real quickly if he would have fought him. But guys like that, I mean, I'm not talking about like world championship guys that Brandun Lee's avoided. I'm talking more so like the guys that, you know, are good young fighters like him. Guys who have won fights as the B-side, like Abram Martinez, because he knocked out, what's that kid, Ruben Rodriguez years ago, you know? So how far can Brandun Lee go? I think Brandun Lee can be a world champion. I think his dad, you know, God bless him, his dad's taken him this far in his career, so he deserves credit. But his dad's corner instructions were kind of weird yesterday. His dad was like, oh, this is your career. This is your career. Like every round, I'm like, man, stop fucking freaking the fighter out. You're going to freak that kid out. You know, the trainer's supposed to calm the fighter down and get him to a place where he can deliver the punches he needs to deliver at the highest level. And he, in my opinion, I could be, maybe that's just a relationship, but from my opinion, Brandun Lee's dad was freaking me out. So don't be freaking me out. He probably freaking Brandun Lee out in the corner. But maybe that's just where the communication. We'll see how it goes. But I think that dynamic is something to look out for. You know, and I'm all for fathers in boxing if they can make it work. But sometimes the fathers can be the downfall of the fighter. So it's just something to look out for. But I like Brandun Lee, talented fighter. I hope he learns from that big mistake last night against Will Madera, because if he makes it against guys who can punch harder, he's in big trouble and he will get stopped. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys let me know what you think. What did you guys make of Brandun Lee's performance? You know, performance where he almost got knocked out in the third round, but you know, he showed the know-how how to survive, and he got another, you know, what was it, 10 rounds under his belt, because his last fight he fought the kid Zachary Ochoa, and that won the distance. So he's getting rounds. Like a lot of times boxing fans ask for fighters, you know, we want our fighters to get rounds. They don't tell you how they want the fighters to get rounds. They can say they want the fighters to get rounds, but if a fighter fights enough experienced fighters and he's getting rounds, and at some point there's going to be some vulnerability shown, because you know these fighters are all good. Like once you start fighting on TV against, you know, guys in the top 30, you know, these guys are all good and they all have their qualities about them. It's just about who can impose themselves in the fight the most. And the reality is, like, Brandun Lee's gotten exposed a little bit the way Hrgovic got exposed last night. Doesn't mean it's the end of the road. Doesn't mean they're gonna suck. It doesn't mean that they're hype jobs. It just means that they have some things to clean up on, and how they how quickly they adjust and how fast they adjust is going to be the ultimate determination. It's going to determine if they become world champions or if they're just solid contenders. So we'll see what happens with Brandun Lee. But yeah, that's the news. That's my little thoughts on Brandun Lee. You guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care. Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, you know, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God.